Greetings in Jesus' name. I trust and pray that you are all well, that also you are enjoying in this month of August. As a church, our theme for this month is impartation of uncommon increase, spirit-led enlargement. And so our focus this week, we want to focus on uncommon increase. And maybe you are there and you are wondering, what is uncommon increase? Uncommon increase is just a multiplication. Many things that are not normal. The things that we are used to, but things that are not normal. Something very not the way we are used to. So that's why when you're talking about uncommon increase, you're talking about increasing in a marvelous, in a miraculous way, but still in the ways of the Lord. So we want to look at a passage from the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. Now, Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, because I bore him in pain. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed, and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. So God granted him what he requested. That is book of 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. In that verse, those two verses, we meet a gentleman by the name of Jabez. Jabez was just like a person like you and I, but there was something different with Jabez. When his mom named him, he named him Jabez, which meant pain. But Jabez realized, I don't want to continue like this. And he reached a point and he saw, I do not want to continue in this name. I can just imagine every time that his name was called, he remembered of pain, and he felt he does not want to continue in that way. But then he went before God and he said a prayer. And the prayer is just what we have read. And what does that passage tell us? The first point that passage is telling us that your past doesn't have to define your future. That means our current circumstance, it doesn't have to define our future. And number two, also we see from that passage is that bold faith filled with prayers moves God. And we can see it there when Jabez called on God. And he called on him and he said, oh, that you would bless me. Oh, that you would enlarge my territory. And we see when Jabez prayed that prayer, God answered him. And you know why? It's because he went to God by faith. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter your situation. It doesn't matter how long you've been in that situation. Take it to God by faith with boldness. I can imagine when Jabez went to God, he was maybe some doubts, because that name, remember, he was given that name by his mom. But when he went before God, he needed a change. And we see that when he went before God, God answered him. And number three, we see God can turn your pain into a blessing. Jabez, his name meant pain. And all his life, he experienced pain. But when he went before God, God turned that pain and he became a honorable man. Just like that, because of his faith in God, and him going to God boldly without any fear, and not being comfortable with his circumstance, he went before God by faith. And we see when he went there, God turned his pain to be a blessing. Brothers and sisters, I don't know what you're going through. You could be like Jabez. You're feeling this pain is too much. You could be somewhere. This thing has been going on every day, each year, and you're so used to it. To some of the challenges we could be going through, maybe even some of you call them my challenge, or my problem, or my sickness. It's a high time, my dear brothers and sisters, we go to God just like Jabez, with boldness, with faith, and ask him for a change. And you see that God answered Jabez, and he provided for him. He transformed his life. From the pain, he became a honorable man. As we continue with this month of uncommon increase, What are you trusting God for? Go to God by faith. Trust in Him. Talk to Him boldly and trust Him. Do not fear what people will say. Do not worry about your circumstance, but just go before God by faith and ask Him to bless you and enlarge your territory. And just like the way He answered Jabez, even you, He shall answer you. As we go through this week, the part of the other month, ask God to give you an uncommon increase. Ask Him to enlarge whatever desires that you have, because we know He is faithful and He shall grant you your heart desires. He tells us in His word that we delight ourselves in Him and He shall grant us our heart desires. God bless you and have a wonderful week.